We're live. Yeah, hi to everyone on Facebook. This is for the people that are watching it now and the people that watch it later. So we don't choose between the two. We love you both. Okay. So welcome to healthierlife.tv. This is Paul Bursey, and I'm speaking from Ingatestone, which is northeast London in Essex, so about 30 miles outside London. And my co-host is...
I'm Leanne with Go Big with Leanne. I am in smack dab the middle of the United States, Wichita, Kansas. So we're worlds apart, but close as friends.
Yeah, and you're landlocked.
Yes, I am definitely landlocked in Kansas. We do have some lakes, but they are not clear. They're like mud ponds.
Yeah, we've got a few lakes, but they're very small.
And it's going to be 100 degrees Fahrenheit here today with about 40% humidity.
Cool. We're 60 roundabout, I think.
Okay.
We've actually had some rain, and it's blue skies and a bit of cloud at the moment.
Yeah,
so
nice.
It is warm. It's not cold. So anyway, today's title or headline, The Magnificent Seven. Now, I was hoping that would draw a few people in. No, it's not the Cowboys. It's not Yul Brynner or Steve on his motorbike. It's the fierce new secrets to health. Now, we talk a lot about sleep. We talk a lot about exercise. We talk a lot about vitamins and other things on those lines. But today we're veering away from those to make it a little bit more interesting. So what we're going to do is that we've both got four subjects or four mini subjects each. So what we're going to do, Leanne's going to go first, and then I will second. She will go third, and so on. So I hope you find this interesting. So I'm going to hand over to Leanne, and she's going to talk to you first.
All right. Well, Paul and I were discussing we wanted to, kind of lighten it up a little bit, but ask ourselves what are the things that are super important to us to keep us healthy, keep us on track, mind, body, spirit, business, and everything. So I came up with my four. So my first one, and this one just is important to me for lots of reasons, but I personally have food rules. So food rules help me stay on track. So I'll just name a couple of them. I don't take food through the window. So no drive-throughs for me. And I think we've had this discussion before. In my city, there's a drive-through restaurant like on almost every single corner. So I don't go through drive-throughs. If I want that type of fast food, I have to go in and get it. So that's one of my big ones. I've had that rule for over 10 years, have not broke that rule, and I will stick to that one. So that one I'm 100% on. Some of my other food rules, not so much. The other one that is important to me is we only eat out once a week. And, we don't... When we go eat out, we don't care what it is. It's fried food, it's cheesy food, it's whatever it is. But once a week, once we've done it, then that's off the table. And then the other that I kind of have three that I'd like to share on that fall under food rules. But when you think about food rules, find something that works for you. My rules may be too stringent for you, but just have that idea of, you can call them structure. So, and then I try not to eat after 7 p.m. In the summer, it's a little more challenging because I stay up a little bit later. So have when your kitchen closes and when it opens. So food rules just helps me stay on track. It takes the decision-making away from everyday living. I just know this is the structure that I choose to live in. I say if you hit your food rules 95% of the time, then you're doing fantastic. So that's number one for me. And that has really helped me. I've probably had those in place, most of them, for a good 10 to 15 years. And they haven't really changed much over the years because they work for me. They're standard, they're easy to follow, and then I don't have to think about it all day. All right, that's number one for me.
Well, yeah, I was just thinking about that. I probably have... I was going to say I can't remember the last time I went through a drive-through. You'd be surprised. I actually went through a drive-through about two hours ago. Only because I was going to be so quick today. So I was so busy today that I wanted to get back and be in time for this Facebook Live. But honestly, before that, probably twice this year.
Yeah, very good.
Including today. So I haven't got too many rules. I just try and do 6 days out of 7. Good.
Yeah.
That's about the best I can do. So kitchen's open 24 hours a day. I do try not to eat after 7. So I normally I do it. So anyway, here's my number one. Now you're going to be surprised by this. Now, let me preface this by saying that I am an entrepreneur by nature. I also feel that everything affects your health, right the way through from finances to attitude and things like that. And so mine are going to be a little bit different. So the first one is don't be a passive spectator. Right. And that, but basically what I'm telling you what I do. Okay. Everyone here, we all make our own choices. We're not here to judge people or anything like that. So, but this is my first one. Don't be a passive spectator. What does that mean? It means that I can't stand on the sidelines and cheer unless I'm watching a professional football club where I'm not good enough to play or not good enough to referee. That's different. But, don't stand on the sidelines. Go full in, go full out. Don't hold back. Don't stick your toe in the water. I find for me that I have to take part. And most occasions, not every occasion, but most occasions, I have to go 100%. So I don't know how you feel about that, Leanne.
Yeah, they say it's actually easier to do something 100% than it is 98. So again, if you go all in, you've taken the decision off the table. And, I found for myself, I go all into a project and sometimes you realize that is not for you. But if you don't ever get into the game, you're not going to learn those things about yourself. So being an active participant in life in general is just a great idea because, trying new things and getting into the game is where you learn what your passions are, your strengths, and you can, make changes from there. But if you sit on the sidelines, you're just all in your head, and you got to take action. Our bodies and minds.
Yeah, absolutely. And it can be, for you youngsters, not much for me now, but when I used to go to, they call them nightclubs, don't they? But they weren't called that, they were called dance halls and things like that when I was young. And basically I wasn't a wet lettuce. I wasn't the one standing on the side. Well, I was standing on the side, but I would always ask the girl to dance. Always.
Yes. Good for you, Paul.
So I just got more refusals than anyone else.
Right.
And obviously you go through periods where you delay decisions. Normally speaking, I don't delay decisions I always make a decision. So there are periods when I don't, but most times I do. So that's my one.
Very
Don't
good.
stand on the sidelines.
All right. Well, my number 2, which probably should have been my number 1. I didn't put these in. I should have said this disclaimer. They're not really in any particular order. And Rosie and David are joining us live, so thanks for being here. So on my number 2 list, it's stay present, stay centered. And for me, that's extremely important in health and business because I have a lot of things that I'm wanting to accomplish on my plate. And if I start thinking about all of them, I get overwhelmed, anxiety, fear-based, all that. But when I come right back to the moment, and I study the Course in Miracles, and so I use the workbook lessons, a mantra or something that just brings me back to this very moment so I can stay centered, stay grounded, and be in that peaceful state, because from a state of peace, I can accomplish so much more. If I'm in a state of anxiety and fear, I'm really not going to get a whole lot of anything really quality accomplished. So, and that's a challenging one for me because I'm a doer. I'm I'm very get her done kind of person. So calming, pausing, staying in the moment, taking that moment to reflect on, my power statement of the day is what I like to call them, to just bring me back to this very moment. The past and future don't exist, only this moment. So staying present, staying centered is a huge factor in the quality of my life.
Fantastic. Everything is just a decision away.
Yes, exactly.
And regardless of what it is, whether you drink alcohol or don't drink alcohol.
Right.
I love a beer, but only occasionally. Sorry, I was just going to say hello to David. I heard you mention that. I so concentrated on the camera that I don't think to look to my right to see who's actually on. And David, Because now I know David very well, and we're the same age. Now, we're not going to reveal that, but we're the same age. Now, I want to know, my birthday's in February. David, when's yours? So you can stick it up there. And because you said good afternoon from one of the youngsters. So I just want to make sure that he is actually younger than me. I don't think he is. I reckon he's a little bit older by a few weeks. But anyway, and hi, Rosie, as well. So, yeah, so that's, I missed loads of stuff off my first one, but it really doesn't matter because you don't stand on the sidelines. Doesn't matter. Okay, my second one is all about positive expectations. Now, you know, do I get it right all the time? Absolutely not. Okay. But generally, when I'm getting involved in something, I expect to win. I expect the best. You go through little times when maybe your standards drop a little bit, but generally speaking, you know, I'm always, you know, taking positive action. Do you have down periods? Absolutely. You know, and but positive expectations is about mindset. It's about attitude. It's about self-image and anything else you can think about, really. So what I was going to say was, you know, I think that you can look at this two ways. You can either look at it positively or negatively, you know, because they both work.
Yeah.
Okay. If you expect bad to happen, it will happen. And I was speaking to Leanne before this. I had a problem, a challenge, whatever you want to call it, at the beginning of the month, last month, and I didn't sort it out. It's my fault that I didn't sort it out, and I wasted a month, okay, because I waited around, which is unlike me, because I'm very impatient in some respects, and if I don't get the answer in a couple of hours, I'm searching for something else. Anyway, I have sorted it out now, but just saying that we all get it wrong sometimes. Now, the thing is with with positive expectations, you have to keep a high standard about what you expect, and that's all about philosophy and other items like that. So you keep it on a high level, okay? And as I say, it affects making decisions, right? Now, an entrepreneur, and I'm, you know, I like to think of myself as one, is that we'll make decisions quickly. Now, the great thing about making decisions quickly is that if you've made, and you mentioned this, Leanne, if you've made the wrong decision early, then you're going to find out quicker. So you can then, you know, turn around, go back and take another route, but you can course correct at any time. And the quicker you find out you've gone wrong, the better. So that's my second one. So positive expectations. You know, I expect things to go right, but I'm prepared for them to go wrong.
Which is super important. But we, as a caveat to that one on Paul, just remember that our brains are naturally wired really for negativity. So you have to remember that when you're setting that bar, that why would you go into something if you expect to fail? I mean, what's the point? So set that expectation of success, but we also remember that you're going to have to reset that expectation probably sometimes every hour, because you're going to get knocked down in life. So reset the expectation and just keep moving forward. That's, you know, that's what you're expecting success. You're expecting movement, but it's not always going to be pretty. So that's a great one, Paul.
The big challenge is that, because we've seen it in business and probably we've done it ourselves. People is this go back to standing on the sidelines. They poke it with a stick. Right. They give it, you know, it's like, I remember being in Amway many years ago, and one of the things people talk about was that some people come in and don't do very much, and they they had a kit, like a brown suitcase, and people just would sign up, and then they go in the witness protection program. They'd throw the kit in the cupboard, and every month they'll open the cupboard just to give it a kick, and things like that. Just that's what some people are like. I can't imagine spending money and not using it.
Right.
Anyway, sorry. Anyway, I'm digressing.
Well, yeah, that just goes back to when you think something should be easy, you know, you don't put much effort toward it. So when you realize that something is challenging, you're going to put more effort towards it. So setting that expectation of not only the work that's required to be successful, but, you know, expect success, but also expect and have a realistic idea of the work that goes into that, because you're always going to have your ups and downs. You just have to pick yourself back up again. So
Yeah, absolutely.
that's a great one, Paul. So, and we didn't discuss these ahead of time, so it's interesting that some of them are really fine. But my number 3 is related to the body, because I think it's been 2-3 years ago, I had frozen shoulder in both shoulders, which, if you know what that is, it's very painful. I had basically zero, not much range of motion, could barely dress myself. And it's annoying. So my third one was discovered through pain. And a lot of things in life are discovered through pain, but myofascial release, and that I'm not going to go into science or any of that. It's like a self-massage. So these are 2 of my tools. This is a hard ball inside of a sock, because then I can throw it on my back, lean up against the wall, and really dig into those spots that are tight from being on the computer too much, and keeping my shoulders, the fascia, loose around there, so I can continue to move them. And this ball I can use that for my sciatic nerve, and kind of any, it's not as intense. So if I want to, I can use that on the back as well, but obviously it's going to get a bigger range than this one. And then I have the long foam roller. It's out in my car, that I can roll out my thighs, my hips, underneath my arm. So for me, these are part of my daily routine. Sometimes I have to use them, way more than others, but this is part of me keeping my body healthy. And I know Kim Taylor's joined us today. She understands all about keeping the body healthy and recovering from injury and things. So my foam rolling, myofascial release has been extremely important, because when you're in chronic pain, I had no personal experience of chronic pain until I had the frozen shoulder. And it really can mess with your mindset, your overall quality of life. So I'm grateful that through a friend of mine, someone introduced me to this technique. And the good news is I can do it right at home anytime I want. And a lot of times these go to work with me. And so on a break, I can lean up against the wall and release those tight muscles, and instantly. Now, sometimes Dale laughs at me because this can be kind of painful too. So I am sometimes including lots of flowered words when I'm giving myself a treatment, but it's a pain that feels so good, because you're getting released from those pressure points. And you can find the point instead of waiting to go to your massage therapist or someone who specializes in this. So it's something that you can do right in the moment. I try to do it every single day to keep my body good, because when my body feels good, then my brain feels better. It's all connected. If I'm having a bad brain day, my body's not having a great day either. So I got to keep it all working at the same time. So, and Paul, I don't know if you've used, I know you're an athlete, so I don't know if you've ever used any tools like this to help you.
No. Well, a big medicine ball.
Yeah.
When I was boxing, yeah, I still love using those. They're fine. But can you pick the one up that's green and blue? The one, the small one.
That's in the sock. Yeah.
Okay. The last time I saw something like that was when I was in the police, and it was a weapon. They should put a snooker ball or a billiard ball or pool, you use over there, and then use it as a weapon. That was the last time.
Well, I have to hide this from my granddaughters, because they love to find this sock and start swinging it around. And this ball is very hard.
Yeah.
So, this could definitely be used as a weapon. I should keep it by my bed, so if someone, comes at me at night, I can knock them in the head with it. So this has a lot of good use. I use this on my feet as well. So I can roll the arches of my feet out. So, cause I have some foot issues as well. So, this is my buddy, and you don't have to put it in a sock, but when you're doing your back, it's much easier to, otherwise I'm dropping it, 100 times, and then I'm getting squats in. So that's my number 3. And that's probably, in terms of things for my body, that would probably be like number 1 on my list that keeps my quality of life. It's hard to put them in order, but this is extremely important to me. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. So I was thinking of something else there.
Yeah,
So,
that's all right.
yeah. No. Clean, totally clean. Honest. It was just something to do with police. But yeah. Great. Right. So it's my turn for the next one, isn't it?
Yes.
So, I can't remember what it was now. Oh, yeah. Emotional resilience and emotional intelligence. Now, these are things that you can use, or you've got to roll with the punches. It's very, very, very important that you do that. And emotional resilience is, for me, being a former athlete is very, very important. And you can build it up as you go along. It's not something you're born with, unless I would think, born into very hard circumstances. Most of us are born into, I suppose you could describe them as reasonably soft circumstances. So our need to build resilience isn't there till later on, till something else happens. I would think maybe when you joined, you were in the forces?
The Air National Guard.
Okay. So then you have to think a little bit more about resilience, because you're then confronted with a whole new set of problems,
Right.
or challenges, because you've gone from a soft world into a harder world. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I would agree with that.
Yeah. So for me, emotional resilience is how you react under fire. Now, this is the best way that I can describe it. If you think of Saving Private Ryan, now that must have been horrendous for the people there. But I wonder how my positive expectations would have worked there. But but what I'm trying to say is, you either sink or swim. Okay, and you've got to build some kind of resilience to things that are going to happen to you. And a classic example would be for someone like a salesperson. Okay, and it doesn't work for me in every different scenario. But when I was in a previous business, I didn't make any money for 2 years, and then I started making big money. And it's because I built some resilience and built some professional skills as well. So that when I was then looking to disqualify people from actually spending money coming in, and I would refuse some people. And once you can start doing that, your resilience goes up and up, and it's important. I don't want to work with just anybody,
Right.
But again, in the police, the resilience, I learned it I was so fortunate to have some great teachers, but I learned it. I was 19 when I joined. I learned it almost immediately. And I'm just, you've got to know when to go in, when to back off, when to be hard, when to be, I can give you lots of instances, but I haven't got time. But when to act like an actor, to make out you're weak and things like that. And I used every trick in the book to get the result. Legal. I'm talking legal. I'm not talking about doing anything wrong. So with the, I like the role. But sorry, I was going to say I like the role thing. I'm going to get one of those.
Yeah.
A lot of referees that I work with use those. Anyway, sorry. But you've got to adapt to adversity, and that's one of the biggest things. Basically, you've also got to have the ability to understand what's happening with someone else and what's happening with yourself, and that's where emotional intelligence comes in. And but I would say don't mix the two, and all the things we're talking about, don't mix them up. They will link, but don't mix them up. Understand each one, and you haven't got to go mad. They're not subjects that are hard to find out about. But everyone needs these things. It doesn't matter what you do, whether you're a boxer, whether you're a secretary. It really doesn't matter. Okay,
right. They're life skills for sure.
Yeah, so that's my fourth one.
Right. And the only thing I'll add to that is, for me, I'm a pretty resilient person. I bounce back pretty quickly. So for me, I have to remember to be graceful with others that don't bounce back quite as quickly, or their resilience isn't as high as mine. So to drop that judgment and to be compassionate to their journey. So that's the only thing I wanted to add to that. And I don't know why I'm getting a little echo. Is it echoing on your end, Paul?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No.
All right. That's good. So my number 4 is make sure you're having fun every single day. And I want to say to that for the longest time, Having fun is actually challenging for me. That's, I don't know if anybody else can relate to that, but part of the reason for a big majority of my life, the reason why I had challenges around fun was because my definition of fun was so different than my circle of friends. Like, to me, learning new technology or, doing a great meditation or something, my definition of fun was just so different that I judged myself on, like, well, you don't even know how to have fun, Leanne. So probably about 10 years ago, I really realized that my fun is just going to look different than everybody else's fun. And fun doesn't necessarily have to be created. It's kind of an attitude. So I wake up every day and do my best to incorporate a lightness into my day, because there's so much seriousness throughout the world. And it could be just as, like, at work this week, we were cracking jokes all week about one little thing. When we have old school phones and it shows the name of who's calling in, but if it's a long name, it abbreviates it. And so a call came in and it said Barry Lips. And I don't know, me and my coworker just thought that was the most hilarious thing, that all week long we were making jokes about Barry Lips. I mean, we just created a whole story around this one little thing that happened on the phone, just to every day, because we were really busy at work this week. So just to kind of lighten it. And so having fun can just be as simple as cracking a joke, getting out a deck of cards and playing cards, coloring book, whatever it is. I have some intentional fun things that I'm doing now. I'm taking improv classes, which is kind of a cross between fun and scaring the living daylights out of me, because it's so new to me. But that's my number 4. Figure out what is fun to you and try to incorporate it into your everyday life, because, why not? I mean, would you rather have fun or rather just be in constant struggle and, whatever mode that you choose to be? Let's lighten it up. Especially in today's day and age, let's just, be kind and have some fun. So that's my number 4.
I agree. I mean, I try and have fun every day. Just a couple things on that.
Yeah.
Most of the time I worked as a police officer, it was fun. I have to say, even with bad things that were going on, we turned everything that we could do into fun. I can't tell you some of the things,
right.
But I'll tell you what, that I know, just quickly, I'm not that we're going to talk about it, but the riots that are going on at the moment.
Yes.
We would enjoy that. we would have fun. And I don't mean, hitting people and things like that. But if someone's coming at me, I'm going to get hit. But it was fun. It was because I used to box, and so it's enjoyable, and you've got to enjoy it as much as you can, because there's enough bad stuff out there to let it affect you. And what we used to do, what I learned to do very quickly was be able to deal with things and not keep them inside, but I'd put them in that little drawer. But I'd open the drawer occasionally just to say hello.
Right.
And if I needed to let things out, then I would let things out. So they never accumulated. So to bring it down. And I see some people that let things accumulate.
Yeah.
And I just think, look, just have fun every day. There was a great video someone sent me this morning. I've got to tell you about this video. Sorry, it was Rosie. Yeah. But anyway, it was a girl, a wife doing a Valentine's gift for her husband. You don't know what it is. He comes walking on the road and she's in her car, in the family car. And what she's done, she's had someone put a cover on it. These skins they put on it? And it was pictures of her all over the car. Like, I love my wife. My wife's tracking me. Things like this. It was one of the best things I've seen for a long time. It was just, and I had to laugh. I sat there laughing. I just thought the bloke is going mad. But I thought it was great. So have fun. Yeah, absolutely. So I've got a couple of little bonuses. I say bonuses. They're my bonuses, not your bonuses.
What's your number 4? You skipped number 4.
Did I? No, emotional resilience.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yes, I missed number 3.
Oh, okay.
That's what it was. Right.
All right. Well,
okay. I know this one, so it really doesn't matter. It was all about, you're right. Well, mind you, having said that, me leaving it out would have been the Magnificent Seven.
Yeah.
So this is number 8. Right.
This is the bonus.
Affirmations and self-talk. Now, very quickly about self-talk. Watch what you say to yourself. It all ties in with what I did with positive expectations. We all do it. Some do it more than others. So try and eliminate as much as you can. Okay? A glass of water, if you drop one little bit of ink in it, muddies the water. And that's what negative does. Probably takes, I don't know, 20 positive things to try and eliminate one negative thing. You know? But that's the self-talk. I'm not going to go into that too much. We all know we do it. Monkey chatter. The other thing was affirmations. Affirmations are huge. All right? Now, affirmations, I've got loads. I did have them with me. I was going to say a couple of them, but I seem to have dropped them somewhere. I don't know where they are. I hope not, because it took me ages to write all these out. It says about 40 affirmations, maybe more. You know, things like, I can't remember words. But yeah, because I'm a business and I deal with people, something it would be saying very positive about how good a communicator I am. So it doesn't matter what you do, you can adapt it to anything. It seems a bit silly when you first do it, but it works, trust me. It's a bit like writing your goal and sticking it on the fridge, okay, or your bathroom mirror, because you see it loads of times a day, and finally it starts to stick.
Right.
Okay.
It's training your mind. It's training your mind to think differently.
Yeah.
So, and it's, you know, our mind needs to be trained just like our body.
Yeah. The mind sometimes more than the body.
Yeah. More. I was going to say, I would say the mind needs to be trained more than the body, or on a more regular basis, I suppose. And it depends on, I mean, if you're an athlete training for the Olympics or something, I mean, but they do probably just as much mind work as they do body work. So they go hand in hand. So it's important to focus on both and not exclude, you know, either one of them. Mind, body, and spirit, you know, that's what we are. So
well, I've got a set of, I use Pinterest quite a bit, and I've got a set of 120 odd pictures or quotes or whatever you want to call them, tips, and things like that for elite level athletes.
Very good.
If you get a chance to go to Pinterest, look for elite level athletes.
Okay.
And there's some brilliant stuff on there.
Well, great job, Paul. We've been rambling for 32 minutes. Should we let our audience move on to the rest of their day, or do you have some closing thoughts? Closing thoughts. My 2 bonuses. Audible. Everyone heard of it? It's obviously owned by Amazon, I believe, and it's where you get recordings of people talking. Now, depending on what you like, they do everything. But I find it inspires, it educates me, motivates me, uplifts me, you know, and inspires me. So, you know, it's fantastic. And the other one was music. I listen to music a lot of the time. And in amongst working and different things I'm doing, I listen to music. And that also inspires me as well. They're my 2 little bonuses. Awesome. That's it. I don't really have any bonuses, but my final words would be, you know, Paul and I shared what works for us. So you can kind of sit with this, ponder with it, and then, you know, sit down and with some quiet time to figure out what really works for you and add it into your day, because you deserve it. We all deserve to have a happy, healthy life, and a life, you know, filled with joy. Are we still going to get flat tires? Yes. Are we still going to have bills to pay? Yes. But we can do them from a point of health and happiness versus from a point of regret, anger, and pain. So, I mean, it's all a choice. So I'm grateful for anybody who tuned in today. We're having a great time. Paul and I just, you know, experiencing this, and hopefully we're planting some seeds or giving some food for thought, and, you know, making a difference in your life somehow. Fantastic. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I enjoy it. I wish all the health to everyone. Right. Wellness, fitness, whatever you want. So fantastic. All right, we'll hit the end button now. So have a great day, everyone, and see you next week. Bye-bye, everyone. Take care.